Oh, I want you and you want me. So why don't we get together after the dance? Let me see if I can get this right. Let me see. Girl, you're treating me bad, and I know why. I heard that you're stepping around with another guy. But you act like if you hurt me, that's okay. Let me tell you, girl, that I'm here to stay. And I'm never gonna give you up. No matter how you treat me, never gonna give you up. So don't care what you say. Oh, that's little Jerry Butler. Kind of simp music, a little simp music if you kind of think about it. Like she's going around cheating on you and you saying you're not going to give up even though she's cheating. That's called a simp in today's world. But the words are beautiful and the song is beautiful and Mr. Butler sings the shit out of it. That and Send a Telegram. Send a telegram, send a telegram, send a telegram to my baby. Telegram is kind of like texting back in the old days. I guess it's time to start. Give that Virgin power out. What's happening, PJ Allen, my man? What is happening? The Virgin gives you the power to cut through ignorance. And also gives you the power of motion and the power of the thunderbolt, baby. And then we turn that into may the power of blue argonite propel you. May the power of blue argonite propel you. May the power of blue argonite propel you. And then we put the Virgin in tunes. We put it in form. All right. Tell I'm getting stronger. I can hold that motherfucker. What's happening, PJ? This is the Chocolate Mountain Show, and I am your super funky hot host tonight. I am also the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins. And I am also your one and only galactic daddy-o, welcoming each and every one of the Chocolate Mountaineers on my galactic patio from Minnesota to the universe. And I've kind of jumped ahead of y'all because I was looking at this beer and it just needed to be open, but we are having Boulder beer. I am a little bit on edibles, but I just took a big rip from my bong. And so, pop them if you got them, smoke them if you want them, for sure. And welcome. Hey, Brother Edward, what's happening? I'm going to check a high paying personal protection risk management operative job tomorrow. Well, we wish you the best of positive energy. We hope that you get it. We hope that you get it, brother. I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are very, very, very qualified for it. So I hope it works out for you. Now, how y'all like my goon squad? This got LeBron. You see that LeBron shit? And you know, I had to have pants. So my son said I looked like what was the Grimace? Wasn't that the McDonald's thing that was all purple, the Grimace or some shit? My son said I looked like the Grimace. But again, these is NBA pants. I don't give a fuck what they look like. But yeah, he said I look like the McDonald's Grimace. But this is circuit in purple. Just feel that. And I got this shit for half price because the movie was a year ago. So, hey, this is Jersey, baby. This is Jersey material. So I didn't mind. But I hope all the... Damn. I hope all the fathers, was recognized today. And even if you aren't fathers, just somebody who helps, that your efforts was recognized. That's all. I got to spend time with my mother and got to spend time with my beautiful daughter. We had a nice little brunch. My mother's food wasn't very good. So my food was cool. My daughter's food was cool, but her chicken wasn't very good. Her chicken wings, they burned them up or whatever the fuck. As soon as she looked at them, she's like, these motherfuckers look burnt. And then she started eating them. She said, these are the worst wings ever. Now, for a melanated person to say the worst wings ever, they've got to be pretty bad. So they took that off the bill. But it's hot up here. It is still 88 degrees up here at midnight up here in Minnesota. It's still 88 degrees. So it's hot. So you're going to hear my air conditioner cut off and on. It was set on 73. I set it on about 76 to get through this, so to cut off a little less, but it's staying on for probably the next 2-3 days. It's going to be 100 in here tomorrow. We are over a dome, a heat dome, they called it. Now that's flat plane, but that's what they called it. We're under a heat dome. Now, if we're in a round planet, how can a heat dome come over us? So, hey, Lorenzo. Yes, indeed. It really did. It really did. It was really cool. My oldest son and I was talking about the finals and stuff. And then my 25-year-old son, he called me or he texted me. He's like, oh, I'm tripping, Dad. What's happening? So my 25-year-old son, I'm guessing he was either on the lake or at his woman's family. So, and I tried to call my daughter. Perhaps she had to work. My middle daughter. Perhaps she had to work. So, and I don't be tripping. Was 77 here in the SIP. That's it, man. It's 90. It was man, when I took my son to work, it was 97, 98. It was hot today. Yeah, it didn't, like, after we drove, because my son works like in Eden Prairie, and my mother, where she lives, is not very far. So it was just like a straight shot. And yeah, it was like 97. Yeah, it's like 97 today. Because it's funny, when you and the place we was at, like they have a balcony or a porch, like, and like you can take your dog, just that kind of place where it's the neighborhood little spot where you can take your dogs out on the porch and you can eat while your dog has a doggy snack. Don't know what, but So the food was okay. Oh, and then the motherfuckers didn't have burgers. They had that Whataburger shit, you know, that Impossible Burger. They had some Impossible Burger shit, and that didn't sound good to me at all. So right now we got 95 with a heat index of 103. We had 77 here right now. Wow. Wow. Yeah, tomorrow is going to be our hottest day. And one thing I liked at work, they cranked up the AC. I noticed the last time we had a 90-day, because I went in there one day and I was wearing something like this and I sweated the day before. The next hotter day, I ain't sweat hardly at all. I was like, oh shit, I had a shirt on. I was like, oh shit, they done cranked the shit up. So with them books, they don't take anything. And then they got something that's constantly sprinting, shooting in the air, you know, so all them books in there. But yeah, it's still 88 degrees. It said it's 88 degrees. When I turn the TV off, it's 88 degrees and still feels like it's 92. So this air conditioner is on, and we each got one in our own rooms. So my daughter last night, she's like, "Ooh, it's finally cold in here." Like, okay, it's not gonna be cold in here too long, but it was a beautiful day. Twins got their ass kicked again by the Diamondbacks. Yeah, they lost. They had to lose. I quit watching. I started watching a little bit of USFL game. Missed the car race. If they had one, maybe they didn't have one. I didn't see anything. Yeah, they had to have one because I saw the qualifying last night. Didn't see that. Not a big sports day. You know, it's funny when the NBA goes away, a lot of summer be like super boring of sports. It won't even be worth talking about sports because sports kind of goes away until football starts again in July when people go back to camp. Between now and that camp, I mean, now a lot of people ain't into hockey, so a lot of people ain't big hockey fans. Sherilita, thank you for joining me. A lot of people ain't into hockey like that. So a lot of people, when NBA go, their sports go until football start again. Unless you enjoy baseball. But if you don't enjoy baseball, you know, sports is over to you until football start or basketball start back in October October in a few months. So. But then they're gonna keep basketball in your psyche because the draft is coming up. So I think that is this week. Maybe if somebody can add. I think the draft is Thursday, 24th, isn't it? Could be. Could be. It's funny looking at Facebook. I saw a picture of my sister, and I haven't seen. You know, I don't really mess with my father's family a whole bunch. But God, I haven't seen my sister since my son. Let me see. It's 27. He was a baby. So I haven't seen my sister in 26, 27 years, about 26 years. She had come home Christmas. That must have been Christmas of 96. Yeah, that's probably not last time I saw my sister was the Christmas of 96. I guess she lives in Connecticut. She married a woman, and they adopted a son. And apparently they live in Connecticut now. They were living in North Hollywood, but apparently, and she's a lawyer, and her whatever is a lawyer. Minnesota and other Midwest northern city states are known for their cold weather. It looks weird in them spots, but y'all have some beautiful spots to have summer camp, you know. Oh yeah. You go up there by the Boundary Waters. As I said, there's lakes everywhere. My daughter's godmother, they spend the whole summer. They got a camper, and they spend the whole summer on the lake. It's a lake south of us. It's south, but it's a lake, and it's not big as Prior Lake, but it's a lake big enough to ride boats around and go out and go in the middle of it and throw an inner tube out. So yeah, it's a lot of camping. If you're into camping, it's all that. It's a lot for everybody up here in the summertime. It really is. It really is a lot of beautiful spots. And I'm still debating if I want to get up on the solstice or not. We'll see. Because the solstice comes in tomorrow morning. Yeah. Have to look at what time. So I might go out to the mound. We'll see. That's 45 minutes away to wake up at something like, I don't know if I could do it. It's 3. It started getting daylight like 4:30, 4:45. So I'd have to be out there like 5. So don't think I'm going to make it. Oh, thank you, brother Edward. Macbone Files, thank you. But yeah, Lorenzo, it's definitely some beautiful spots up here. It's some beautiful country here. Um, when I ride back, like when I get off the highway and start riding back in this area, and just all the green and lush lands, like really once I start coming back into this area, we come back to around the reservation. And the reservation is just pretty little green, small hills, and it's just beautiful here. Really green. Um, yeah, yeah. And so it's some spots is pretty. And then there's two beaches where you want to go to the lake and got the beaches. It's two public beaches. I live really close to one. It's the really weirdest little beach though. You kind of got to park your car in the park, and then you kind of got to do like that through the. It's not that far. It take you about 6 7 minutes. But if you carrying shit, it's kind of quite a bit to carry. It's better to go to the other park. But this lake, Prior Lake, you can do about everything. You can do about everything in the lake. It's a long lake, so it's a long lake. Now we have Lake Minnetonka, which is a large lake. It's some yachts be on that motherfucker, but Prior Lake is more of a long lake, so it's really cool. Just if you just want to cruise, it's nice where you can cruise down, cruise back, throw the inner tubes out, and just it's really cool to be in the like. I am not a big lake person, but to be in a lake and an inner tube and a drink, and had an edible or something like that, it is really chilled time to be in the inner tube and just, feeling nice and have a drink with the inner tube and you just like sitting there in the water and shit. Yeah, don't have to worry about any sharks or anything like that. Ah, then my daughter lost one of my pickleballs. She agreed to play with me, and we went super late because it was hot. We went like 7:30, maybe something to 8. And as I mentioned before, the pickleball court is on the reservation, but if they don't cut around the pickleball court, it's bad tick season here. And she knocked one of my new balls into that grass. Yeah, I'm like, I lost that ball. Because I'm not messing around in them grasses. Them grasses got them ticks in them, them deer ticks. So had to let that ball go. She's gonna buy me some more though, especially by the lakes. It reminds me of that show that Nickelodeon had back in the '90s called "Salute You're Short." As I said, I was talking about when I lived in Eden Prairie. I had a little pond in my backyard. It's beautiful. I mean, one thing I loved about that spot was you hear the bullfrogs calling the females and just nature, to hear all that beautiful nature and communication, just natural communication that's ignored by us. But I mean, it's just really beautiful to sleep by. I mean, I love hearing the bellowing of the male bullfrogs. He telling his chicks to like, hey, he like, blah, and the chicks come looking for him. He ain't got to do nothing but bellow. That's pimpy. That's some pimp stuff. You just like bellow when they come at you, and then they get near and he like, grabs them pretty quick. But they know the deal when they come near the bullfrog, and they know why they coming near him when he like blah and they come near him. Once they get in his domain, they know it's going down. And so something interesting to watch. Be like, damn, bullfrog ain't playing. They have beautiful lakes in Rolette, Mesquite, Texas. Oh, okay, okay. Up here not far, about really before I get to Madison. So about 4 hours away is the Dells. The Dells are before I get to Madison. I'm pretty sure. I want to say the Dells. And, the Dells is nothing but, pretty much glacier water. The glaciers hit big in this area, Minnesota and Wisconsin. Wisconsin still has some of the glacier cliffs, if you know what that is, where the glacier just drug this cliff. So Wisconsin has some of those. And the Dells, if you're up in this part of the country, the Dells is worth watering. We got another place not far here that's a lake where, so how some of the parks had a lazy rivers, where they got real rivers where you can do that shit. So they got a river here that's near where everybody get on your inner tube and it shoots you down this river and then you take a bus back to where you started. So it's kind of cool, and that's not that far from here either. And that's kind of a big attraction. I mean, you seriously on a river. So you start at point A, and you ride this shit all the way to the end, and then when you get to the end, there's a bus to take you back, so you can do it again. So that's not very far away. And then this camping, you can camp around the Dells if you want to rough it like that. My idea of camping ain't everybody else's idea. You know, you back in the '90s, you could used to get these little small air conditioners that you could put in your tent. I don't know what they are now, but it's like I had to have a generator, I had to have air conditioning, and plenty of bug killing stuff. I'm not much of a Boy Scout. I used to love tasting that Georgia water in the summertime. Atlanta is the Piedmont region, also known as the foothills. A step before you get to the mountains, and we know the best water in the mountains. Very nice, very nice. My brother lives down there. My brother and my uncle both live in Atlanta. I think my brother works around Decatur, something like that. So yeah, but this ain't gonna be a very long show. It's gonna be long enough for me to drink this beer. Don't really have a whole lot to say. Not a lot of sports to talk about. I'll say some stuff though. But PJ, if you still watching and you ain't on patrol, what do you think? Is it too much? Was this, Grimish like? I don't think this is too much. I think it's tight. I think this is crispy, having the matching, the goon squad. Sign me up. Nah, I trust PJ's authority on crispiness. Freshwater Mountains. My dad used to call it that Georgia water. Ha! Very nice. Very nice. I saw something, couple of things. I was watching a little bit of American history, but one thing came on, and they started talking about Arsenio Hall, and I'm telling y'all, they are changing this shit. And I watched part of the film to see they changing this shit. Now, when Magic says he has HIV, I think what a lot of people missed is Magic wearing white and black. A lot of people missed that. When Magic admitted he had HIV, he wearing white and black. So it showed he was a Mason. But I'm gonna tell you something. They changed. They changed because they showed the interview when Magic. Now the only thing I could say is if this was the second time, and maybe this was the second time he was on, but when Magic was originally on Arsenio Hall, he wore all black. He wore all black like he was dying. He wore all black. And what I saw today, he wore a light suit. So maybe this is the second time he had him on after he talked about HIV. But Magic said, this ain't going to kill me. That's what Magic said, though. Magic said, this ain't going to kill me. I'm going to live through this. But he was wearing different clothes. Like I said before about Magic's son, y'all looked it up and said he was born in 81. There's no way I would have known about Andre in 1981. I wasn't living in Michigan. There was no one I knew in North Carolina that would have known Andre's family. It's no way. It's no way I learned this as an older person. I learned this in high school. I'm telling you. They have changed that too. Because that was the only way I would have known about it. Magic left in 77. And I think the girl he got pregnant, the first girl, I think she graduated a year ahead of me. I don't think she was his age. I think she was a year ahead of me. And now they're saying he was born in 81. But there's no way I would have known about it in 81. No way. So something about that they've changed. So I don't know what it is, but I noticed that today. Either it was the second show or they changed it. So that's about the only thing I have interesting to say tonight. Sly, when you was a cop busting in the wrong place, apologies with your gun out, very hilarious. That story that you told Sly when you was a cop busting in the wrong place, apologizing with your gun out was very hilarious. Okay. You told Sly when you're a cop, you was busted in the wrong place, apologizing with your gun out. It was very hilarious. I'm about to head home. Machines are down. Oh, good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Lines must be down. Where is that? Good for you. Safe travels, buddy. I couldn't say to you last night because I fell asleep before night in the stream, but the Broncos beat the Buccaneers 7-0. The Avalanche beat the Lightning to take it. Yeah. You know I watched that game, Lorenzo. What is you talking about? You know I watched the game. I was like disgusted. I lost more money. Necessary Evil, thank you for joining me. Yeah, I lost more money last night. Yeah, I watched it. I watched the game. That was all I was waiting for. Me and my daughter were sitting there. I was just waiting for the game, and then they just got. It reminded me of the NBA though. You know, that game last night reminded me of how the NBA was doing them blowout games. It was like they didn't know how to script a game unless it was a blowout, and that's what it reminded me of. It's like they couldn't script a game unless it was a blowout. So, if you were with the Avalanche, I guess it was good. I bet 4 games. I bet 4 games on Tampa Bay, and I've already lost 2. So, but remember, Tampa Bay lost 2 to New York. They lost the first 2 to New York and came back. But this Goldie, as I said last night, this Goldie only gave up. Let me get this right. In the first 2 series, he only gave up 5 goals. And all of a sudden, was it 5? Might have been 3. It was either 3 to 5. And now he's given up 12. Now you say, well, the competition ain't any better. I mean, yes, individual team wise, but it's still pro hockey, NHL. So yeah, it's sloppy script. It's a sloppy script for sure. And I was just like, hockey is so many crazy bets in hockey. It is so many. It's a lot of crazy bets, and I have to really look at it on paper, all the stuff that you can bet. It's really, really funny, really interesting. So, but yeah, I knew it, and I lost. You know, and I lose. I admit that I lost, but I still say they're still. I don't know. They lost the first 2 before, so we'll see. Because they're about to go back for fall winter last year. Plan on getting you some of that hockey jersey at Tampa Bay. Like, oh, it is. I would have bought the white one. Was it white or blue? I can't remember if that one, because it was, as I said, when I bought my Wilds jersey, I think I got it. You know, normally them jerseys be about $100, and I think I got my Wild because it was a traded player, which I ain't give a damn. I don't care about that. I like just the jersey, but it was. They had a Tampa Bay one, and I want to say it was the blue one. And it didn't go on sale. It was still $90. And so I was like, I kept passing on it because it was $90. But it was that lightning bolt on it is sweet. Both colors, even the all white one and the all blue one. I think the one in the store was the blue one. But it was nice. It was definitely nice. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about, Necessary Evil. We have a mound. Yeah, we have a mound about 40 miles away, and I'm thinking about going because the sun rises about 5, and the drive is about 45 minutes away to get there. So I'm thinking about it. If not, I'll just go on one of my ley lines here. And it's a sadness too, because the days start getting shorter. Because right now the days is long. You start hearing the birds. Like when I get done doing this most mornings at 3 in the morning, you start hearing the birds at 3:30, quarter to 4. What did I miss? I'm thinking about adopting some young melanated, teaching them the path that has no name. Wow. So, you know, I'm going to probably burn some sage, make some noise if I don't drive out there, out to the mound. And I still maybe could drive out there later. So, but that's be tomorrow morning. So we'll see. We'll see how I feel. I might go out to the mound, though. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I might go out to the mound, or I might just go out later. But depending if I feel like getting up, if I can get my butt out to bed at 4:30 or 4 o'clock to drive over there. Because really it's just on the other side of St. Paul, so I might make a little time. But it's going to take me good 40 minutes at least. Because the mound is right on the Mississippi River near the border. I'll be right on almost close to the Wisconsin border. Because I live about, some spots of the border, I live about 45 minutes. And so this is, but this is heading like down, like it follows the river down where I would have to go. And it's actually, the mound kind of overlooks the Mississippi River. I noticed the sun wasn't down until 9:30. Yeah, it's the long days. The long days. That's the thing about the solstice. The days start getting shorter. I'm fitting to say from the heat to you. I told you Happy Father's Day, but you didn't need to because you're doing your fatherly duties. Well, thank you. That is so kind, so kind, so kind of you to say. That is very kind, Lorenzo. Thank you for the kind words. Oh yeah, it was people posting. Yeah, the sunrises have been extremely, extremely beautiful. I said that even last year. Last year, or maybe it was even just a couple of months ago. We were seeing the beautiful reds, and even though it was getting dark early, we were seeing a lot of the beautiful reds that it gets. But yeah, even the sunset. I thought when I put that air conditioner in, it would block the sun. Yeah, the sun like, yeah, you didn't block nothing. And it's coming in there at me. And I'm like, yeah, but I got freezing blowing in here, Mr. Sun. So you're not going to make me hot. You're just going to brighten my sleeping. Oh, that's so kind of you to say. You know, the positive man out there. And it was nice. You know, the place I went, bought me a drink, bought me a beer. So right on. There's places like that all over you go. I literally pulled over and watched on my way to work. Yeah, that's really nice. Mm. And that's like the people that eat. That's what they do. The people that live on the equator that don't eat, they just eat broth and drink water. That's when they really feed. They feed when the sun comes up, and they feed when the sun comes down. Now, I really do a lot of when the sun comes down because you can stare at it. What is interesting when you do the sun gazing when it goes down, and again, I'm gonna say this: you've gotta like don't look at the sun until like 7:30, 8 o'clock. So don't go out there and burn your eyes and say, I told you to go out there and burn your eyes. No, you have to wait when when the sun's going down. So normally around 7:30-ish, 8-ish, you can find a clear spot. What you do, and this is, I'll tell you what's really cool when you sun gaze. A lot of times, if it's slightly cloudy, but you can still see the sun, the clouds disappear when you gaze. I mean, you just concentrate on the sun, and the sun would literally appear as a disk, and the clouds would disappear. Now, remember afterwards, you're going to look at shit and you're going to see yellow. Like, especially when I try to get in my door and I'm like, I can barely see the door because all this yellow. So remember, give yourself some of that. Don't go try to drive. Don't go sun gaze for 10 minutes and then try to drive because you're going to be seeing yellow shit all over. So, make sure your key to your place is kind of easy to do because for about 6-7 minutes afterwards, you're going to see yellow shit. So just do the full disclaimer, tell the full story if you practice that kind of thing. What I do at times while I'm at work. That's nice. That's coolness there, y'all. Okay, yeah. Amazing ripple of pink clouds and this morning. Wow, that is so nice. The summer solstice is the perfect time to engage in sun gazing, sun worshiping, your pineal third eye, solar plexus. Now, that's another beautiful thing to do is if you go out there, right before like set, or even when you sun gaze, make sure to close your eyes to try to, burn out that calcification that will come to your third eye, because that's what all the water and a lot of this food is trying to block all this. And sun gazing is an excellent thing to do that too. And so you just go in and then you look and then you close your eyes. But you'll see that this, like right here, will be open. And a lot of times it'll be blue. It'll be like a little blue pocket. Like you'll see a circle with like a blue pocket around it. And, just beam that in and then like open and close your eyes to it. And you can see. And then eventually, if you have any calcification, it'll burn that out. And it'll be easier for you to get to your higher self. What do you call that type of pink when you did the cards? Sunset pink? Might have been. I forget. I forget what kind of pink it was. It might have been sunset pink. They've got all kind of names. So yeah, next time I come to it, I have to remember it. But yeah, but that's good that you can just recognize that how beautiful things are, and despite all the evil stuff around, there are still beautiful things around that we can connect with that don't cost us anything to connect with. That's the most beautiful part of it. That it doesn't cost you anything to connect with, and it's free. Free for the energy. Mm. I use the solar power of the sun god to heal my injured shoulder. Oh, okay. Ethan P. Red sky of night, sailors delight. Red sky in the morning, sailors take warming. Ah, okay. Wow. It was a pretty type of pink. I don't know. Let me look. let me see what the cards are. It might be one that has that pink in there. That's more purple. It's funny, you go to these places now. Must be this one. Let me look that one up. No, it's two of them. Let me see. That's more purple. Let me see what they call these. Okay. I'm not that smart. No, one is 19, I think. Here we go. Kaban is 16. Okay. No, Kaban is 17. Let me see if that gives a description of what kind of pink that is. This is called sunset pink. Yeah, that's it. Sunset pink right here. Ben, card 13 is sunset pink. The pink on the outside is the sunset pink, holding up the pillars. Well, thank you, very necessary evil. That is too kind of you. Too kind of you. But yeah, sunset pink. You was right, Lorenzo. Good memory. Good memory. I'd like to see some of this stuff coming up where they can find it. Look for me in the ethers again. Been traveling a lot. Okay. Yeah, you just came through and gave me a smile the other day. Yes, can you imagine getting married and we both have a sunset pink on? Oh my goodness, man! But necessary evil, you are too kind. Thank you so much. Yeah, I've been yeah, the daytime. This is interesting. The difference between meditating at night and day. You do see beings, but far more dense at night. Far more dense. And so be aware of that. If you're catching that denseness, that's what it is. It's just a lot of souls is out. And so you have to kind of be a little more patient for, what is the word I'm looking for? Because a lot of times, I don't think what people understand is when you meditate, a lot of times it's nothing happens other than you get that peace of mind of controlling your mind and controlling your thoughts. That's what a lot of people, that's what I think throws them off at times, as they expect, because they start meditating, they think that all these different things that people talk about are going to happen. Again, it goes on your level, what's going to happen, so that is something to consider. But I mean, really, you can't compare yourself to anyone. And the main thing I think of meditation is turning off all the voices. and then finding out if you have attachments affecting your life or your thoughts. Because if you have attachments that are feeding into certain aspects, as I said before, the losing it, um, the argument kind of attachment, losing your temper kind of attachment, these kind of things will feed into stuff. So if you can, that's the zoo lights, as I said, I use the zoo lights to try to cut all this stuff off you. You cut all that stuff off you. And then the way to see that you're back in command is to see when you meditate, to see what comes in. Because if something comes in like, damn, I got to go to the bathroom, well, that's you talking. But if you hear some bullshit come in, you need to cut a little deeper with a zoo light. You needed to cut a little deeper to get rid of that. So you know that it is your thoughts. Anger, that's the word I was looking at, because a lot of attachments feed on anger. And, Brother Barber was saying, how people are destroyers instead of builders. And, like my ex would really be like that. It's like she did everything. She did so much destroying where she really kind of destroyed herself. And at 48, she's a very unhealthy person. But it's like, I won my children despite her destroying efforts. The next man she went to, he got his face beat in, tried to escape and go to Mississippi. They brought him back, put him in jail. Another dude she was dealing with was about to get his nursing license. And then he had a domestic with her. So she was just a destroyer of folks. And I don't know. And maybe she felt she was destroyed, so she had to destroy. Hey, Chris Smith. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I just wanted to quiet my mind. Yeah, it's like really, you don't have to expect miracles. It doesn't really happen, but to stop all the chatter and recognize where the chatter comes from too. Because there's a lot of things, especially anger, that you don't want to be at work and something feeding your anger, because that's what happens to a lot of people. Like I've been able to tell that. Like I'm like, okay, I want to say more of this person, but right now ain't the time and the place. But when you get to spouses, it's all on. You'll say some shit to your spouse you would never say at work, but you'll say it to your spouse. So, but the point is, before you get to that point, make sure if you do have that conversation, whatever's bothering you with your spouse, it is truly your words and nothing feeding out of anger. That is why it's best to deal with that from a neutral position. I mean, it's really like, I would tell people at times, it's like, right now, I don't hate you, I don't love you, but it's like I'm sitting there where you making me not have any emotions about you. So is that how it's going to continue? Me not to have emotions, or should I have emotions? And so that is a kind of a way to gauge, to see, but definitely be control over your own thoughts. And it'll help you go a little further. Self-fulfilling prophecy is real, even to their demise. Yeah. Ashima, demon of anger, rage. I think I have unresolved resentment. I think I have a little bit too. I mean, in the sporting world, inches matter. And it's like I just look at my own personal experience, what inches would have propelled me. But again, at what price? And so sometime I think my guardians said, okay, I know you want this, but we gotta kind of make sure you get some positive feedback, but this is it. Because this is what's best for you, what's best for the family line. And now I understand that more. I understand that a little more. I mean, for the most part, I got out of sports because the higher levels you go, the greater risk of worse injuries, no doubt. The speed picks up and everything. So I got lucky. Um, yes, and I think for me, being a yeller helped me because I get it out. Being a yeller get it out. Like my son was like, well, you and mom broke up because you yell all the time. But again, she was the destroyer, and the only thing she could hear was yelling at her. That's the only thing a destroyer can hear is when you yell at them because they're destroying. And they are so stuck on destroying, they can't hear nothing unless you yell at them. So, but yeah, you want to get but suppressing because it can really hurt you. You know, suppressing these feelings can ruin your health. So it's better to get it out. That's what's really helped me is I get the shit out. I push the shit out and I get it out of there. So that has helped me. Instead of holding it in, because holding it in is stress. It's like holding stress in instead of, releasing it. And I'm good at releasing. That's why I'm a yeller. I release it. I'm not good at holding it in. I'm sit there and tell a motherfucker, hey, this is what it is. This is what it is. And what's sad is when it's destroyers, they don't even know they're destroyers. They don't even pick it up. They don't even pick up what they've been doing. They don't look back and say, I'm try to destroy all these things. Mental health is indeed, yes. Mental health is the great key, yes. I was raised Catholic and taught to be quiet with emotions, suppress emotions. Wow, that's tough. Wow, how understandable though. We can heal ourselves as well as make our own self sick. That's so true. We really can. We're raised Catholic. Wow, yeah, I understand that. So is my mother. We was talking about that, I was talking about my city, which is I grew up in, which is Dutch, and a lot of the Dutch was Catholics. And so, as I said before, one of my grandfather's mother's family was American Indians and Irish. So I don't know where the Irish is, but because of her, a lot of my family were Roman Catholics. So, yeah. And yes, raised to be quiet, especially with women. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I understand that. That goes into the Puritan thought too, because people forget the Puritans was Catholics. They try to tell you they try to tell you they broke away, but they use the same book. So how you break away if you use the same book? You ain't break away. But I guess really we're supposed to forget about history and just try to move on. And whatever wrongs was people did those years ago, and everything's changed. It ain't really changed. That's the thing. We look at it ain't really changed. But we have to move on. We have to take care of self. And that's the biggest thing to learn is self-care. Self-love is the best love. Because without loving yourself, how can you love anyone else? Because if you don't love yourself, you can't receive love. That's what people miss on, is receiving love. What was the Earth, Wind, and Fire song? You want my love, and I bet you can't fight love, and I bet you, can't fight love. Mere mortals. Yes, we are. Mind, toyism, Zen, Buddhism, medication techniques. Do not push for suppress your thoughts. Let them flow like running water through your fingers. Yeah. Yeah, I can feel that. They say you can't pretend there's nothing there. I can look in your eyes and see you care. You can't hide, and I bet you, and I bet you. Oh, that Earth, Wind, and Fire. Uh, so I learned to acknowledge them and let them pass. Uh, I'll say this though. This is the problem. I'll say. Okay, if you want those, if you are strong enough to let the thoughts go, because remember, as the thoughts are going, some of us can still see these things. So as the thoughts are going, if you're not strong enough, no, let me not even say it like that. If you are still in tune to your thoughts, and as each thought comes by, they come by almost like tickers. And so it's like tick, 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 tick. And if it comes by like that, it's hard for some people to ignore them. Because again, the thoughts are running by. From what you said, the thoughts are running by. And so where I sit, I would still be able to see them. And again, where are the thoughts coming from? Now, if they are just my natural thoughts about life, I see what you're saying. I would let them flow. But what I'm saying is there are so many attachments and there are so many influences that you have to block that off. I guess that's the point. And that goes back into attachments. You have to put that away. And that goes back into, are they your thoughts? Without any kind of help out there, any kind of I'm lost for words, but any kind of thing influence. You don't want anything influencing your thought when you go into yourself. And so now, if you're saying from the point that when the thoughts come by as water, you're not able to recognize them and they're just able to move by, okay, I can get that. But for some of us, if that waterfall comes down of thoughts, some of us is gonna be able to ticker that shit. And it's that makes it extremely complicated and not a good experience. So I mean you kind of gotta weigh each. And I guess we're kind of talking about the same thing in a way, but you have to consider both situations, you know. You have to consider both situations. That's all. Authentic thought versus outside thought. Yeah. Passed all the MK programming. Yeah. Knowledge of self, indeed. Ooh, very nice. I like all those bullseyes. So that's all. So it's. I don't disagree, but I'm saying it just depends on what level you're at. If you can let it move by, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, but because with me, the waterfalls start coming, I'll start noticing that shit. I don't let that shit go by. I'll be like, hey, wait a minute. But that's all. But in either way that it can come, you can attack it. That's all. Anyway, either way it can come, you can attack it either way. Like tobacco too much. I could probably eat one of these every day. It's too much. But I'm not going to go terribly long. Oh, well, thank you for joining. Yes, thoughts without influence. Exactly, PJ. But yeah, Shirilita, thank you for joining. You'll hear from me. Thank you, though. Yeah, thoughts without influence. And that's it. That because it's hard enough just getting into yourself and getting into really understanding who you are when you first try to get into yourself and who you are. As I've said before, you have a sound when you feel what's called good. That's a sound. And for the people that can self-heal and self-tune, that is really what you should listen for. Because if you say you got a little cold or something, listen to what that sounds like. That's why it's so important to know what you sound like. And on my other channel, I used to preach that for a long time. Learn how you sound. Learn, like you start hearing that little buzz in your ear, know that that is how you sound. And so when you have times where you can hear that, really get into it, because if you can understand that, then you can actually direct it. You can actually direct it because you're like, okay, I feel good. It sounds like this. I'm not feeling good. Where can I tune? You know, Dark City talked about the tuners, but you can tune it too, especially sound. And so what do I need to tune? And, and I don't want to, because that is another skill. The tuning is another skill, but but it's a start, at least for those of you. That's a start to just like, how do I sound when I feel my best or normal, whatever you want to call that. And then just notice if you got a little cold or the allergies is too much, which I go with a lot, so. But those are ways you can tune yourself. So I'm sorry if that's a little too much. but that is a way to tell how you feel and who you are, because you sound a certain way. It's like joyful. It's a sound when you're joyful. It's the same way when you're sad. Like if you're really sad, you can hear it. I mean, just the kind of tone you set out there when you're sad is just a completely different kind of thing compared to same thing as when you're joyful. And most people, when you're joyful, there's so much more noise around compared to when you're sad that you can't hear that joy, like how you sound when everything's joyful, because again, joy brings a lot of sound with it. A lot more emotions when you're joyful compared to the sounds when you're sad. And total sadness and total grief is a whole nother sound. It's the sounds of dread, the sounds of, hurt, compared to the sounds of joy. That makes sense. So, well, I only got a couple more swigs, so I'm not going to go too much longer. I got to get up in the morning, do some things. Oh, no problem. Oh, definitely discern, yeah. Which is my date of live birth, June 25th. That's right. We are all, I forgot about that. You and my sister share the birthday. My grandfather and my brother were both born on the 22nd. My sister and Jody born on the 25th. My aunt born on the 29th. My aunt is a year and a day older than me. A year and a day older than me. She's born on the 29th and I in the 30th. And then we got family born. My best friend's son, I think AJ, turned 16 like the 2nd or 3rd. And then my cousin Craig. I mean, we got a lot of family like that. When I self-tune, my ears almost sound like they're going to pop. I don't know if there's a way I could tell you not to do that. That might be the way that helps you, though, recognize it. Yeah, where with the pressure, I'm trying to feel where the pressure is coming from. I would say probably for you, yeah. That's okay. Because you're just, yeah, you're getting, okay. So, yeah, because you're releasing pressure without it popping. So you're still releasing pressure. Okay, that makes more sense. And you probably have to stop because you release so much pressure that you feel like the next thing would be the pop. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Uncomfortable a little bit too, though. Seems like it'd be a little bit uncomfortable. Yeah, that'd be a little bit uncomfortable, but I understand. But the comfort would be to ease back. Yeah, okay, that's what you're getting. So yeah, once you get to a certain tune, just ease back. Because if you feel like they're about to pop, you went too far. So you can turn it back a notch. Yeah, you get to feeling that pressure. And it's like, it's like how you tighten or loosen. It's, almost that thing, just to give you an understanding of what you're kind of doing, because that's what you're doing. So just loosen it up a little bit. Yeah. But just feel like that's the thing is we don't really feel everything that we are. So We were so much more than just our eyes, just our ears, just what we smell. We're so much more. And again, we have auras that when you meet people, your aura meets people before you do. So as you walk upon people, your aura is bumping into people all the time. Okay, how do I want to say this? How do I want to say this? How do I want to say this? Okay, so your aura will bump into people before you will. So a lot of people might feel you before you actually recognize them. That's something to pay attention to, because a lot of people, sometimes your aura will literally tickle them because you're putting out such positive energy. But for the kind of reverse wicked evil, they can feed on that. Well, not feed on it, but they can sense that as well. And so if you knew somebody that's kind of like that, and when you come around them and you see that your presence kind of triggers them. Yeah. Yeah. And especially they act ugly because there's probably evil there. And the evil really does not like your good. So notice that as well. And that's a way of dismissing people too, because people will do tells. Because like my charms down there, I got charms, wind charms, and it's stirring up a lot of this ugly. And it's like these people can't stand that. They don't understand why it's there. But as the wind activates it, it's working for me. That's why it's there. And some of this ugly is hard for people to contain. So, and it's something simple as putting the charms, the wind chimes out in front of the apartments. So, yeah, recognize you're good though, and see how people respond to it sometimes. And as what Super Sly said, sometimes you want that demon still there to get in people's ass, people that need it. When your aura say I'm getting into somebody's ass today that needs it, you want your aura to say that too. You want to be able to have that energy to come out, that hard energy, not to just sunshine energy that I'm just about love. Sometimes you want that hard stuff to come out there, be like, hey, somebody here has been foul with theirs, and this is the energy you getting back. So remember to keep that in mind. It ain't all sunshine and cherries. Remember, there's times when you got to bring that real stuff too, so that aura hits the same way. And sometimes you want your aura to hit like that. So keep that in mind. Adam, I don't know what you're trying to get, but I'm not going. I went an hour, and that's about my last drink. I will do the divination for tomorrow, which is, well, right now is the 20th, but the solstice, I'll look into it more, what time it comes in. I might have to post what time it comes in. Not sure if I can make it out to the mound, especially that time in the morning. My goodness, but we'll see. But it's another time to manifest. That's really what it is. It's a time to manifest. It's a time to understand, because remember what we just went through. We went through the day out of time on May 25th, May 26th, May 25th. And now they've got all these fake holidays. Even today is a fake holiday to build up to this independence. Because that's the peak of the suburb. That's the peak of their rituals, is independence. And so, even though they will use the solstice energy, and let me tell you one beautiful thing. If you study, if you study how the solstice was used, and you truly looked at the pictographs that are all over America, and when they show that these pictographs would sit there, and what the pictographs actually did for older communities was actually put the moving fractals in people. So I know this is kind of hard to understand, but you're an ancient man, and everyone gathers together, and then you see the sun hit in the same way you see the temple of the sun, where the dragon literally comes down the steps on the solstice. I mean, this again is giving people a type of fractals, a type of waking up fractals, and I don't even know if that's the right word, but a type of information, a type of download it gives to each that experiences that kind of thing. And I'm kind of off my point a little bit. I kind of forgot my point, but the solstice can be the same way to you, where you're getting, okay, I'm go back a little bit. So it was a way for ancient man to learn new fractals, to learn just a little bit more about his society, a little bit more of how to do things. And so it was like these times of year they would sit in these petroglyphs, and this would be the moving picture they get for the year. But they learned from this, just the sun making this thing move. This was another download on how to move society forward. If y'all get that, if y'all could get that, that's kind of what it did. So tonight for the divination, the energy is coming from, should be the south, I'm sorry. The card is Lamont. And Lamont is another name for rabbit. Harmony, starseed, beneficial combinations, way soarer, octave, expanded love, gateway to the fifth dimension, star-cross relationship. Symbols are star's path, cascading fireworks. The number is 8. Colors is twilight, blue, and gold. I'm gonna take this book to people, and I'm like, hey, can you make this for me? I want some twilight, blue, and gold, baby. Ooh, had the buttons gold and the suit twilight blue. Herb is blazing star. Flower is iris. Essence is star jasmine. The scent is jasmine. The stones are lapis or star sapphire. It's the fire element that comes out of the south. And the shadow wisdom is archetypical self-doubt, not just personal, feeling disconnected from the expanded presence of your essence self, learn the lessons of disharmony, but the way to turn it around is draw on love to prune away the disharmony in your life. Draw on love to prune away the disharmony of your life. Cultivate harmony. Access your starseed essence. Stand in the harmony of your full presence. And the harmonic is the wavelength fundamental, the beneficial combination. So it's hands as O's, more like this. So you have your hands as an O here. You have both hands as an O, then moving the arms up and out and releasing the O. So you start with an O, and you raise your hand and release it. And while releasing, you say, I am the ignition and cosmic milk seed, explosion of resonant sparks of tapestry of the source. I am my full presence now. I am the harmony of the stars. So, well, I won't be back on till Thursday morning. Might do a little thing I'll just do on my own tomorrow, or coming in the solstice. So I don't know if I'll do that live. I might just do that on my own. So yeah. And I'll finish with Mora. It all starts with a gentle sadness. They came from their original homeland. They knew that they had exact numbers of years and days before they would disappear as a culture and a lifestyle. But the civilization would build to a gentle love. They lived in the Creator's day and knew how to separate cycles in the Great Serpent. And again, I am another yourself. That's probably the most famous Mayan saying. I am another yourself. So use the eyes of Lord Marv to be able to, get into somebody and look back and see how they look at things, how they think about things, and then make your decision on it. And as the ones that are working, may you be safe, may you get home safely, and the ones that get to rest in their creation ball field, they want to tell you it's a bed. May you rest well. May you be protected by everything in your presence. May nothing attack you without you agreeing for your agreeing to be attacked, which most of you won't do. So may you rest well and may you feel protected because you are protected, because you put things around you to protect you. And as always, love just is. Love has no opposite. There's no condition. It ain't no you love me, I love you back. If you like me, you remember in grade school, if you like me, I'll like you back. You send notes to me, I'll send notes to you back. You call me, I'll call you back. Love just is. And as Lazarus long, the days are long, but the years are short. I don't think anything can be truer than that. The days are long, but the years are short. Well, y'all, see me Thursday morning. I might do another little thing tomorrow, depending, not sure, but might do something for the solstice, but it had to be in the morning. Ugh. Well, maybe I can do it, tomorrow morning. So maybe I will come on for a short period. I'm not sure, but we'll see. I'm lazy, so. But this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show, y'all, and I appreciate it. Thank you, Necessary Evil, for the Cash App. I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you, Jody. Thank you, PJ. Thank you all, Lorenzo, all the people that participate consistently. I appreciate it because, this is not really a big channel. It's still a little channel. They say all channels under 100,000 is inconsequential. So if this helps somebody, you got questions, real questions, I do try to answer them with a real way without trying to eat off you. I just try to answer back to you. I don't try to get any gain from answering your questions. As Jody knows, I give freely. Now, there's a point where knowledge should get compensated. So some of the things in the replays, I don't think I'm wrong into asking to be compensated because for a whole year I gave out free content. Whole year, when I was eligible, I still gave out free content. So I don't think I'm wrong into letting them run commercials off the stuff. I mean, they use me, so we use each other, and this is their thing. So, but yeah, it's gonna be a hot one. So maybe tomorrow we'll see. So this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. I have been your host, Big Pontiac. Until we meet again. Whoops. Say less. Say less.